I threw oil on one of his moves, but which one? Joy pink, frustration pink, everything pink. For clarity.
Vernier Scalper.
Willkommen auf meinem YouTube-Kanal. Ich bin Hayao. And today we will be talking about a very iconic film of the Ghibli series. In my previous video, I said that there are 3 Ghibli films that we prop on the pedestals, okay? The 1, the 2, and the 3. And one of them is a Howl's Moving Castle. This is the one that people, and this is my favorite Ghibli film. We have to teabag the fucking film. We have to say good things about it. This is like the one, okay? It is one of 3. The other 2 being Spirited Away and Princess Mononoke. Alright. The trio trifecta. And it is finally time in my Ghibli re-journey. It is finally time to talk about a fucking Howl's Moving Castle. I always thought that Howl's Moving Castle came out a bit earlier, but my friend Barbara told me that this film came out in the 2000s, and you can tell because the animation is considerably better. This is the one where you could really tell the advancement in the animation technology, okay? Unlike a lot of my videos, I don't really have a lot of preluding thoughts. Well, I guess I can say that I've been enjoying the Ghibli journey so far. I have noticed a lot of things that I've not noticed before. I'm finding new things to appreciate. It has been really eye-opening, okay? Renew my appreciation for the Ghiblis. And I'm also getting closer to the films that I've never seen before. Because the last time I rewatched the Ghibli films, or watched them for the first time, my original Ghibli journey was about 2 years ago at this point. I stopped at Up on Poppy Hill. So I did not see when Marnie was here, Princess Kaguya, definitely not that Red Turtle one. I don't know if I'm even going to be doing that film. I've not seen Boy and the Heron. Okay, let's just get this out of the way. I will not be watching Earthsea next. Okay, I will not be watching that one. I am planning on reading the Earthsea series by Ursula Le Guin, but I don't know if that's going to happen anytime soon. Probably in the future, because I'm reading her high niche cycle at the moment, so the Earthsea one will have to be on the back burner. And that would mean that the film, I don't really have incentive to watch it, especially the fact that it is bad. Okay, it is kind of critically panned, so I do not. It is not really on the list at the moment. If I'm being completely honest. So I'm not watching that. I will probably. I don't know about the Red Turtle. Is it important in the Ghibliverse to watch the Red Turtle? So yes, that is just some things that I will get out of the way. I do want to watch Nausicaa. I know that Nausicaa is a very big title, even though it is not technically in like the main works or something like that. But I do want to watch Nausicaa. And there is that Earwig movie. Oh, I don't know about that. But if I were to do Earwig, it would be after as well. I will not include Earwig in this. I would consider this like the main line, okay? The mainline films, like how with the Pokemon, we have the mainline games. This is how I consider the films that I've been reviewing for the Ghibli. This is like the mainline Ghibli films, okay? So I will watch the Earwig film just for shits and giggles, What if I like it? What if I like fucking 3D Ghibli? Yeah, so I will watch that at the end after The Boy and the Heron. And all the other Ghibli film spin-offs or things, I would consider that after I finish the mainline films, okay? Let's just get to it. Let's start talking about the fucking Howl's Moving Shethole! Okay, so we're back in Europe. Or, you know, the fantasy version of Europe. And we already have creepy men at the start of the film because Sophie, our girl Sophie, you know, she's just trying to do her errands, okay? Trying to make her way through the fucking city, town. But she had to be stopped by two men that are very much bigger than her, okay? Bigger, intimidating, imposing, creepy. Okay. One of them asked for her age. How old is she exactly? I don't remember it being clearly stated, but she's definitely really young. And these dudes probably are... Their cocks are hard. Their cocks are so hard right now. They're bricked up. And they want a piece of the pie. A piece of the forbidden pie, actually. Because she might be underage for all we know, okay? It is very creepy. And thank God for Howl, who appears and takes her away, because the things that could have happened in that alley in broad daylight. What we're seeing here is probably 18th century Europe fantasy, okay? But these men, these wild, primitive men, you can't trust them, okay? Even if it's broad daylight, who knows what they'll fucking do to poor little Sophie here, defenseless Sophie, who self-esteem is on the ground, okay? Self-esteem is on the ground. We have a trope here, okay? We have the main character girl who is very insecure and thinks lowly of herself. She's very, very... like humble and almost to the point of martyrdom, okay? Almost to the point of martyrdom, but not there yet. So that is the archetype of Sophie here. But yes, thank God for Hal for being a hero, okay? He is the man, okay? He's the man of the film. And we have the witch. The witch has so many chins, okay? Her double chin, triple chin, quadruple chin. I feel like the chins have chins within them. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is not just what you see on the surface. It is not just what you see on the outside. Each individual chin comes with chins of its own deep inside. Like a burger, okay? It's like a burger. And all together, it's a very like chinception. Inception of chins. Like a chin within a chin. Get it? It's like a chinception. Oh my god, she is very repulsive. She's very repulsive. She's very repulsive. And why is she picking on poor Sophie? Oh my god. I just mentioned how Sophie has her self-esteem is on the ground. Why can't Miss Chinception here pick on like a bimbo or something, you know, like pick on somebody who's annoying and grating and like a horrible, insufferable person who is very beautiful? Why can't she pick on somebody like that? Why does she have to like put a curse on Sophie? And she made Sophie so old. She turned Sophie to a grandma. And Sophie can't utter that it is the witch that did it, but I guess Howl and the rest of the squad, okay? The squad, the moving castle squad, everybody kind of figures out that it is her because of the seal and blah, 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 blah. But yeah, the fucking witch is a bitch, okay? And she's, we will get to it, okay? We will get to how annoying she is. Now, you know I said Barbara mentioned the animation. The articulation of the castle, okay? Howl's moving castle, as it said in the title. It is moving, okay? It is moving. All the little parts just like crankling and moving like a crab, spider, tarantula across the lands. Oh, they were flexing. They are flexing. They are flexing. And on top of that, we have the classic painted backgrounds. And we have the smoke coming from the castle. Oh, bitch. You! Another marvel of the animation. A smaller thing, actually. Like small details that I really appreciated with this film is how they did a lot of mannerisms, especially with Sophie. For example, when Sophie was dealing with the Calcifer, I know it's Calcifer, but it still sounds like Lucifer, okay? So she was trying to get him to start a fire so she can make breakfast for herself and the boy, okay? The little boy. There was a moment where she put aside her head because her head dropped on the floor, and she put, like little things like this where they did not need to animate it. Because if you think about it, it is not practical. It's just extra frames that they have to draw, hand paint, and then animate it. It's extra work. But it is very nice that they had little things like this. And when they actually sat down to have breakfast with Hao, and she was kind of disgusted by the mess. The fucking mess. So she was sweeping away some of the things before she dug in. And they, they had that moment there too. Oh, it's so good. But speaking of the house. The house is a fucking shithole. The house is a fucking shithole. And are we fucking surprised? Because it is inhabited by man. It is inhabited by man. Just man. We have the little boy. We have Hal, who's always not around, so he's definitely not doing the housework. He's not doing the chores. He's not cleaning. He is not... God knows, because he has magic, so he probably does not need to clean his clothes, toss them aside, and create new ones. It is basically a frat house. It is a male dorm. Boys only zone. Oh my god, can you imagine the dried up tissue of cum? Ew! Imagine the dried up crusty socks. And the fact that Sophie, who is now a old lady with cracking Foley sounds, the number of cracking sounds that they added in this film from her bones just reminds me of how, Po and Kung Fu Panda always have the boing, boing with the stomach, the belly. Oh, the soundscapes that they have created with the with the cracking of the bones is so stupid. It's so fucking stupid. I love it. Sophie has to clean the house because she's making herself useful here. She's finding a new home. Okay, so this is like her chosen family in a sense, because her own mom is... They don't go looking for her, and at the later part of the film, the mom sells her out as well. So what the fuck is that? The real family, I guess she's happy here with her chosen family. So we have that theme as well. She has to pick up the crusty cum socks, and she... I don't want to think about it. I guess the child is fine, because the child is... I suppose it's like a toddler. You give toddler vibes, right? Or preteen. So I guess we won't have to worry about the jerking off. But how? He might not be home all the time, but we know what he will be doing when he's back here at the house. When he's back here at the castle. In his room. And that bathroom. He's always talking about, give me the warm water. Heat up the water because I want to take a bath. In that fucking bathroom? Where it's just grime and shit all over, and they did not show the toilet bowl, but based on Sophie's reaction, I think we can assume that it is clogged as shit. I think we can assume it is clogged, and it is, you know, when you don't wash the underside, you know, like the rim of the, and it starts to get like a layer of yellow. And the fact that the toilet is green. So, in order for the grind to be visible, it has to be brown. That shit has to be brown. You know what I'm saying? Because if it's yellow or green, it would probably camouflage or blend in into like the color of the tile and everything. But if she's noticing it, means that it had to be brown. Yo, the teleportation system is fucking sick. The teleportation feature of the house. Ghibli knows how to do fantasy, because that is some cool sick ass shit. If I saw that as a kid, and you know, in the previous video I talked about how I am obsessed with, or I was obsessed with portals and doors. If I were a kid watching this, I would be so insufferable after. I would be opening doors and pretending like I'm going to a different world, like, ooh, look at me, like I'm changing the settings. And I like the little shots of Sophie peeking out of the door. It is so cute. The different settings, you know, when she comes out into like that rainy place, or when she comes out and she's in the city. She looks so cute in those shots. It was very endearing. I love that so much. And the thing about Sophie's character that is also another thing that is very endearing about her character, I like that even in her vessel, even in this new vessel as an elderly lady, she's very youthful, okay? She did not become old mentally. She's still like a child. There is still that childlike wonder, okay? She's still pretty youthful. So she's very amused by all these experiences that she's getting, and she's very grateful. That is one thing about her as well, is that she's very grateful throughout this entire ordeal of adventure, mission, situational. She is always being nice to people, even the fucking Chinception witch. She's nice to everybody, and that is very interesting as like a character trait, because as much as she has low self-esteem, she does not keep to herself, you know? She is still sociable, she's still talking to people, and she's just being kind. She's being kind. And I think that is why it makes her very likable, because it would be a very different situation if she was just like, you know, like, oh, poor me, like martyr, or self-loathing, or just, it would be very, very different. I like that they gave her this humanity, okay, like this very overt, like, humanity, very, like, the kindness of it all. I really appreciate it. And I think it was also a good choice to do this because it is contrasted by the war backdrop of the film. At the start of the film, we saw the rapid industrialization, you know? Ghibli loves their allegories, right? They love their big, sprawling themes of war, usually in the backdrop. And we see it here because I think that there is a significance when the smoke we see coming out from the houses and stuff, it is very dark. It is like smog. It is not just little like cooking smoke, you know the type of cooking smoke that triggers the fire alarm. It is not that. It is not like a little cigarette puff. It is smog blowing, like black thick, small, so thick. Industrialization, toxic, negativity is very dark, okay? And then we find out that this country or kingdom or whatever it's supposed to be is going through a war period, and people are dying, and there's airships in the air, there's explosions. We get the part where the bombs drop in the water and we see the ship get destroyed. I think it's intentional, okay? I think that it is intentional that we have our protagonist be so, just the kindness, contrasted with this dark side of humankind, you know? I think that is a very good and intentional choice of the protagonist and the setting. Humans are flops. Like, humans are always fucking humans are always fucking flops in these films. So in a way, before we even get to the war part of it all, we've already gotten this ominous sight at the start of the film with the smog. It is not like romantic, pastoral, white with the nature infused in the street. No, it is just buildings and smoke. Now, you know, early in this film, there are themes of beauty and self-worth and things of that nature with Sophie, okay? We already dabbled a little bit into that with Sophie. And now we're contrasted with Hao, because he returns with a fresh bangs. Like, he comes back. I was like, wait, he did not have that haircut at the start of the film, okay? At the start, it was very shaggy or unkempt, whatever, I don't know how you call it, you know, it was like mine. It is all over the place. But he comes back later and he has this like shirt. It was fresh, okay? It was fresh out the salon. Fresh out the saloon. Bruh, he is obsessed. He's obsessed. He's obsessed with beauty. And you know, he has this crash out later on. Bruh. That crash out because she fucked up his dyes or his soaps and potions. And now he's the ginger. And he does not want to be a ginger. He wants to be a blonde. And he has a emotional breakdown. Emotional breakdown scene. Oh god, the man being dramatic. I like that Sophie actually called him dramatic. That is what I've been saying after all these films. You know, I've been saying through all these films, like, the men are fucking dramatic, okay? The men are like, crying, and you just like, slumped over the fire. Like, what the fuck are you doing? You're a wizard. You're a powerful, like, unstoppable force of nature. Why are you crying over a fucking haircut that you could so easily fix? And he does, because you see in the next few scenes, he becomes a brunette, or just, you know, black hair. And why is Hao excreting ectoplasm? Guys, I told you in the previous video, or maybe the previous video, but Ghibli did the ectoplasm thing once. And they went with it. They're like, yo, it looks so cool on screen. We gotta do this more often. We see it in Mononoke, and then we see it in Spirited Away as well. We did not see it in the cat movie, but who fucking cares about that cat movie? And now we see the ectoplasm again, coming out from a depressed Howl. Do we have to click? I hate the ectoplasm. And I feel bad that Sophie has to deal with that bullshit and the ectoplasm. And another different type of ectoplasm in the fucking room, if you know what I'm talking about. The one with the socks and the... And Sophie got so sick of him. Sophie was so done. She was not having any more of this bullshit. She was like, I was never beautiful, you are pissed me off. Runs out into the rain. And has her emotional moment where she just stands there. I would have a breakdown too, you know. What in the low EQ shit is this? It's like, you know, you're telling the fat person like, I gained 1 kg. Okay, we have to talk about the Ghibli flexing, okay, the animation. When the castle was up in that air, and we see the beautiful sceneries of the animals moving, galloping throughout the fucking grass fields, the grasslands. Sophie was like, wow, it's so beautiful. Bruh, they are just flexing. They're flexing at this point. They're really flexing at this point. I was like, oh, they're in their Disney bag. They're in their Disney bag. They're showing landscapes and I mean they deservedly so, you know, they deserve to do that. They've come so far from Laputa, and I am aware that there are films before Laputa, okay, the non-mainline films before Laputa. They've come really far, so they should be flexing. And another thing that I like about this film are the tranquil moments, because this film is very chaotic. Okay, it is very chaotic. Not to the point of overstimulation, but there is a lot of action, okay? A lot of action, a lot of magic. Okay, because I remember when I first watched this film, it was kind of confusing at times because a lot of the magic just happens and it is not really explained in depth. So you just kind of have to vibe along. You kind of have to vibe along and just accept things as they go, right? Like the witch, like changing forms, and how changing forms, and the house being strange in the fire, you know, with the Lucifer. You just have to vibe, okay? You just have to go with the flow. You can't stop and question every single thing. You're gonna get lost in the sauce, right? But the thing I like about this is that there are tiny little tranquil moments, like when they're doing the laundry. They actually took the time to sit in the grass fields by the water, and Sophie gets to nap, and they had a meal as well before with the boy. It was just so like little moments like this, little slice of life moments where things slow down before it picks up again. It is very, 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 very nice. It kind of reminds me a bit of Porco Rosso in terms of the pacing, because Porco Rosso, from my memory, is one of the Ghibli films that really, like, the pacing is really good, okay? There are always slow scenes, still important, but, you know, slow scenes, chill. You get to know the characters, get to know their vibe, personality, and we quickly kick back into action. It's like the same thing with the Howl's Moving Castle. Now, when those bombs dropped in the water, in front of all those people, and they see the ship wreckage with the people on the ship screaming for help and stuff. Sophie was in the middle of getting groceries. She was in town, she was getting groceries, she was shopping early in the morning, and she was very happy. She was like, ooh, I get to see the beautiful sea and breathe in the fresh air. The little boy was not interested because, you know, he's a little boy and he's stuck up. So, I see this all the time, nothing changes. Okay, iPad kid. But they were interrupted mid grocery shopping by the fucking bombs, okay? And I like how she doesn't steal the fish. I'm sorry, I'm just thinking of rotten things, you know, in my head. I was thinking of rotten things like, she could very well steal the fish from the fishmonger, okay? She could have stole, because he was distracted. He ran off to look at the chaos, right? The commotion. There was this ginormous fish on the ground. What if she stole the ginormous fish? Can you imagine? Old ass granny Sophie hauling that ginormous fish, like that ginormous fish that's on the ground with the little boy, and trying to 扛回, bring it back to the house. That would be so entertaining, but no, she's a heart of gold. So she would not do something like that. And they saw the blob people. I like that it's called the blob people. The shadowy figures that initially we thought belonged to the Witch of the Waste. Okay, we thought it belonged to the witch, but actually it belongs to a different magical being that we will get to in a few moments' time. Now, Hal gets vulnerable with Sophie. Okay? In his bed, as he's bedridden. He admits that he is a coward. He does not want to go to the king. He does not want to go to Suliman, which we learned that is a sorceress that works for the king. But anyways, he's a coward. He's a coward. He doesn't want to go. That's why he thinks about these different aliases. Early in the film, I did have that thought. I was like, is he a con artist? Because why does the boy have to put on the fake beard and take messages from all these different king's guards, king's people, and whatever fuck, and there's different names, Pendragon, and there's the other one. Like, what is with all these aliases? Did I say Ali? I thought he was a con artist, and I guess he is, because he's a fucking coward. He's a fucking coward. He has so much power, he has so much magic, he has so much, but he is a coward. And I was starting to like him because this is a good moment of, emotional awareness from a man. Okay, this is good. Okay, it is good. I would not say that it is like what admirable or something, because this is the bar is very low. But his cowardice leads him to ask poor Sophie, who is again, if you can't remember, Sophie is now a granny, poor granny, to go to the fucking castle, the king, to go to the king to talk on behalf of him as his mom. I think that there is a lot of symbolic, like, man and woman relationship type situational going on this film, because what do you mean she has to represent him as the mother, and later on they develop some romantic relationship? Yes, because the woman is always the mom. The woman has to be the mom. She has to be the caretaker. Oh God. Sophie's role in this film is really to be the fixer. And it is poetic, but it is also really sad. She really has been delegated to the role of a fixer. She's put into this house to clean, to cook, to fix, to be emotionally present for all these men. Okay, because Scarecrow technically does not belong in the house, but he is a man. Fire, Lucifer is a man. Boy, okay, and Howl is man. And I guess the house itself is a man as well, because it is dramatic, so it's a man. Everything is a man. There is no female energy in this house. Sophie is a trooper. If anything, Sophie is the real hero, okay? She's the real hero, and she does not even need powers, okay? What the fuck? Telling her to go... I would be so offended. And upon getting to the king's palace, we get the smug-ass witch again with the chinception. Oh, she can't climb up those steps, and guess what? Sophie has been training for this her entire life. Well, her entire life as an old lady, because at the start, do you remember, she climbed up the hill, okay? She climbed up the hill when those other men tell her that you should not do it. But she did. She persevered. Okay, I mean, that is when she met the Scarecrow for the first time. She climbed up the hill. She got those steps in, okay? She clocked in the steps. I mean, she's winded at the end of it, sure, but She has the experience, she has the muscles, and she has the resilience. Who's laughing now, okay? And when the witch finally gets to the top, she is Asian. It is karma. It is karma. It was not instant karma, because instant would mean like, you know, like in a snap, but it's not. It was like God knows how long those steps actually took in real time, okay? Imagine it was probably like 15 minutes of just climbing. And Sophie had to carry that stupid dog as well, that she thought was Hao, but turns out it is just the Suliman's, what do you even call it, familiar? Because she's a sorceress. That fucking useless dog. And Hao reveals that he's taken a disguise of a different form later, but okay, who fucking cares about how Suliman? We have to talk about Suliman. Sophie was so real, okay? Sophie was like, why do you want Hao to work for you? Like, what is this thing? Because I was already starting to think as well, like, why are we supposed to believe that the witches and the wizards are evil? Just because they're outliers, just because they're, you know, on the fringe of society? The outlandish, you know, they live outside the norm. Okay, they're othered. I guess there are people who are evil, like the witch. The witch is technically kind of a villain, right? Even though she loses her power in a few moments' time. Oh, they pruned the fuck out of her. They let her into the room and they flashed those bright lights. Technology and some spell. And they reduced her to her original form as an old lady. Oh, they pruned the fuck out of her. She looked so bad when she came out. She looked so bad. She was so pruned. That was very short-lived. Her smugness, her evil cunningness, and her bulliness. Alright. It crumbled. It fizzled away. It shriveled. It shriveled like a wet thumb. And she looks like shit. She looks like shit. You know what I'm saying? Sophie might be a granny now, but she is sturdy. She is sturdy. She's firm. She has those leg muscles. She has the reflexes. She can carry a stupid dog. But the Witch of the Waste, oh, she's really wasted. Yo, fuck. She's pathetic. And it is very satisfying to watch. You know, before she becomes a burden. Ugh. Okay, but Suliman. Suliman is disgusting. Suliman, you know what she gives? She gives, I sold my soul to the government. Okay? Because what do you mean? We're to believe that she is like a normal, like good citizen. She's just helping the war and she wants these. No, you sold out. You sold out. People are very wary of the magic users, right? They're wary of the wizards and the witches. That is why they were warning Granny Sophie not to go further, because all they use is the witches and the wizards. But you, Suliman, you have signed your life away to the government so you can sit here in your chair. Okay, sit here in your stupid chair and be like, You think you're above the rest of us just because you have money now, just because you have support, just because you have this beautiful, luxurious place to stay? Bitch. I don't like Suliman. Are there Suliman stands? And the fact that she's old. There are so many grannies in this. This is the most granny core film. I know Ghibli likes to throw in their grannies for, you know, like that elderly archetype in their films. But this film has so many grannies. This film is so granny core. Maybe we should do like a granny tier list for Ghibli. We should rank the fucking grannies. I don't like Suliman. She's so smug as well in her chair. Like, talking in like that royal tone of like authority. Fuck off. Now late into the film, I'm starting to get the vibe that this is a fucking toxic relationship. Sophie has expressed that she is kind of sick of Howl not being around, right? She is sick. Okay, she's sick of his bullshit. She's sick of the fact that he's not around. Okay, emotionally and physically, both of those things. When he's around, he's like trying to be cool, trying to be nice, you know, trying to act like, oh, it's not a big deal that he is this crazy wizard. He is like a rock star boyfriend in the sense that he is just, oh, look at him, like he's so cool. On stage, he's touring the world, girls are getting wet. Okay, the panties, bras are in the air, legs are in the air, people are busting it open for Hal and his moving castle, and the castle isn't the only thing that is moving. But at home, you know, at the rare times that he's at home, oh, I need my hot shower. I need my hot shower and I need a perm. I need to rebond my hair. I guess, yes, I guess he's more of a rebond type person rather than a perm, okay? Because not once did we get any curls from the man. Oh, he's a high maintenance man. And he's emotionally unavailable. He's kind of aloof. So, it's a toxic relationship. It's a toxic relationship. And like I said, she's stuck here. She has to cook, she has to clean, she has to fix, she has to be kind, she has to be nice, she has to smile. She has to smile because that is what women are here for, you know. Why don't you smile? You think you're not? No, you're beautiful. Smile. When her self-esteem is already on the ground, telling her to sit pretty, look pretty. And what does she get? What does she get? What does she get out of all of this? He gives her sweet nothings, you know, brings her into some fantasy land that we may know that it might not be real. Say, I use some magic on the field so that the flowers are prettier. That is what I grasped from what he said to her. Is that, oh, this is the house that I always escape to because, you know, escapism. Maybe he's a Pisces. This is the house that I escape to when I want to be alone and I need a breather. And you can come and live here. Live there? Alone? In the middle of nowhere. You think that that is what she wants? I get that it is supposed to be cute. And it is to show, but I think that it is really also to show that their personalities really clash in some sense, because he is almost like very materialistic, very superficial, you know, with the whole like, I need to be pretty, why be alive if you're not beautiful, and trying to impress her with these gifts, trying to impress her with the magic, but she's like, I want to be with you, I want to be helpful, I want to help you. I don't want to be in some house in the middle of nowhere. Though. And this man emotionally unavailable. And just not getting like the deal. Not getting the woman. Not getting what she wants and what she needs. Okay? All he cares about is the hair. And the jerking off into the socks. What is she supposed to get out of all this? And on top of that, she has to deal with the stupid kid. Okay, the stupid kid that can't cook himself a meal. Okay. I mean, the kid is able to shape-shift. Oh, you know, shape-shift with like that disgusting fake beard and the voice that is really bad. What we do, she has that. She has that attitude. You know, the fire that likes to give attitude. And now she's stuck with the grandma as well and the stupid, useless dog. Bruh. She is slaving. Okay, Sophie is slaving her ass off for this ungrateful family. Ungrateful? What is the reciprocation of her efforts? What is it? What did she get? This is a very I guess it's a very realistic tale of the woman, you know. There are a lot of cases where the woman gives her soul, gives her body, gives her youth. This is what it's really about, right? Gives her youth for this man. And all these other little things that she has to deal with. And what does she get? Does she even get a single fuck? I bet he wouldn't fuck her. Okay, I bet he wouldn't fuck her because he wants like young and beautiful. Yeah, like he would turn her into, you know, he's not gonna have sex with Granny Sophie. Let's be fucking for real. He will use some magic, or he will trick himself, like, you know, like he's like inserting in her, but he's thinking of something else. He's thinking of her like he takes a drug to see her as a young girl. That is so messed up, but I really think that is something he will do. You know what would be really depressing? If he rather fucked the sock. Ooh! He rather fucks the fucking sock, or he envisions the sock as... I don't like Howl. I know there are a lot of people who like him. Oh, he's very cute, and he's like... I don't like Howl. I don't like him. Okay, I don't hate him. Okay, I don't hate him. Okay, I don't hate him. But I don't think he's very likable. Okay, I don't think he's very likable. Maybe as a kid, I would think, oh, he's so cool. I want to be like Howl, like the magic and turning into a bird, like fighting like the evil blob people, blob monsters, and like saving the world. But as an adult, I don't want to be Howl. I don't want to be Howl. This is not a role model. This is not a favorite character. This is like, it's a fixture, okay? It's a fixture of the Ghibli-verse, okay? We all know the Howl. We all know his castle. We all know his hair and his antics, but... it is not a name that will be coming out from my mouth fondly, okay? Let's just put it that way. And speaking of all these burdens that she has to deal with, the witch... Bruh, she is the worst. She is the worst fucking addition to the group team dynamic. She derailed everything. Okay, the dog, fine, okay, it's cute. We can have a cute animal, okay? I guess there is a space for a cute animal, but for a fucking granny? You know, I don't mean to be like, there can only be one granny, but she's a burden, and she's obsessed with youth as well. So we already have Howl. And the times that he's not around are in a way good, because those are the breather moments where we don't have to deal with this stupid narcissistic bastard. But now we have this old woman who's smoking away and fuming up the house, talking about how I need Howl's heart. Ooh, it's tasty. I want it. Just find that. Why did they save her? The dog as well. This kindness heart of Granny Sophie talking about how, you know, when they were flying above the... Oh, we can't get rid of the dog now. We can't just throw it off. I would throw the dog out. I'm sorry. The dog is not even a real dog. It is not a real dog. Why are we trying to believe that that is a real... That is not a dog. That is some sorcery shit. That is dark magic. That is the dark arts, okay? That fucking dog is created from Suliman's disgusting taint magic, okay? Dump it, throw it out, throw it down to the depths below and let it scatter, it like disintegrate. I'm thinking of Code Lyoko. But you know what I'm saying, and now we're stuck with the Witch of the Waste as well. Or rather, she's now wasted witch with the chins. Oh, I guess she doesn't have the chins anymore. So that is nice. And she almost gets them killed, because later on, like late in the film, she tries to eat the heart, and oh god, and the house falls apart because Sophie has to save everybody for the greater good. She has to splash, she has to extinguish Lucifer. And because of that, the house falls apart and they fall and they're in the hill in the middle of no... Oh, it is a shit show. The last sequence of the film, the last portion of the film, the last stretch was just a shit show. It was a shit show, and part of it could have been avoided if we did not recruit the fucking witch into our squad. Like, why? What is she doing here? It's just an additional mouth to feed. It's just an additional... This would not fly in the Fallout universe. Oh hell no, she's so useless. She's just taking up space, giving anecdotes, being like, I don't need your NPC dialogue talking about how, are you in love? Oh, you're sighing to yourself. Are you in love? Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Go to sleep. Sophie is not actually a granny. You are a granny and you deserve to die, okay? Stop trying to do this little like pep talk, like girls time, girl talk. No, please stop. Please. She almost gets them killed. I cannot with the witch. She's such a burden. And towards the end, she's still like, I want the heart for myself. If I give it to you, you have to take care of it if you really want it so bad. I fucking hate her. I hate burdens in fucking films. The burdens really get me. It is always the burden. I think villains can be annoying, okay? Villains can be annoying. Protagonists can be annoying as well if they're written in an annoying, insufferable way. But the burdens, they just know how to get me. I'm a Virgo, so anything that is like impractical, doesn't make sense, like in like in the sequence of things, in the mission and stuff, like why did we bring it here? That because God bless fucking Sophie, okay? God bless fucking Sophie. If anything, Sophie is the role model. She is really teaching us the lesson of empathy and kindness and you know, bringing out the goodness of our hearts, because I can never be Sophie. I can never be Sophie. Old or young, I can never. I'm not this benevolent. I would have fucking thrown the dog out. I would have abandoned the witch. Oh hell no, you're not getting Howl's heart, especially if Howl is going to be the one I'm after. Oh hell no, you're not taking his heart. You're not eating that shit. You can eat the how about you eat the crusty cum-filled socks on the floor? Technically that it was part of the Howl as well, when you eat the cum. Eat the cum. How about you lick the toilet seat after he's done using it? How about you do that? And you know, they saved the scarecrow as well. They broke that spell and they saved the... Okay, this might be a controversial opinion, and this is going to be the last thing that I'm going to be talking about. Okay, wait, I have something else to say. Why is the voice acting in Studio Ghibli films kind of like mid? Or just really bland? From the top of my head, I can't think of a Ghibli character where I was really impressed by the voice acting. I guess Eboshi would be a good one. Eboshi, maybe Mononoke. I think that film in particular had a lot of conviction, okay? There's a lot more conviction in the voice acting. But for a lot of the other films, it's not very spectacular, right? And I'm not saying that the voice acting has to be over the top, you know, high pitched and all that kind of jazz, like typical stereotypical anime style. But there's just not I think the fantasy films are still okay, but the ones where it leans more into the urban, like realism, everyday slice of life type situationals, oh, the voice acting is not good. It is so flat. And I know that normal people don't usually speak in animated ways but we're talking about a film, especially like a film for children and youths and stuff. Like an animated film, I think it's okay to crank up the animatedness in the. I'm just not very impressed with a lot of the voice acting choices. It's just really flat. I've even praised the Foley, the sound effects, the music, of course, the art style, the painting, the different, but the voice acting is the weak thing, right? It really is the weak link for me. And Ghibli is very solid throughout otherwise. That is like the one small thing that I can really nitpick about the Ghibli films. Okay, my final thing that I want to say, and this is also a bit controversial, is I don't really like the final sequence of this film. Now, especially when you compare it to Mononoke and Spirited Away, I felt like those two films wrapped up their final sequences pretty well. It was still very cohesive, it made sense. We resolved a lot of things in a way where it was fulfilling. I thought that the ending for Howl's Moving Castle was kind of a cop-out. It was a bit too happy. Ending. We even got a shot from Suliman being like, a happy ending, I see. Almost in a meta way, like the writers knew, they knew that it was very serene and stereotypical happy ending style. I don't know, because I like the backdrop of the war. I think this is a very strong concept, very strong theme, but it just kind of fizzled out into the background and it became the spectacle of how being this enraged monster fighting against these other monsters created by the government and magic, and then he falls and the war is ended. I don't know how I'm not a fan of how this film ended. It is not rushed. I wouldn't say it's rushed. This is a 2-hour film. It's nothing rushed about this film. But it just did not feel really resolved. Right? We did not really get a lot of character development if you think about it. Okay, Sophie has always been a kind soul and she has maintained that throughout. But how? There was not emotional depth or development. We get that moment of vulnerability, but then he, sends her to. Yeah, I'm not living for this. And now everybody's happy. Okay, we saved the scarecrow. I rather they did not break the spell of the scarecrow as well. That was very awkward because they break the spell and now he wants to marry her. We're back to the marrying trope. We're back to the chivalry, man and woman, and then the child and Granny is happy. But are we supposed to feel happy? Are we supposed to be like, yay? And we're stuck with this fucking family, this chosen family. Of all the chosen families in the Ghibli verse, this one. I would not choose this family as my chosen family. Oh hell no. Oh hell no. I rather she go with the scarecrow because that relationship felt more pure and there was some reciprocation, right? He helped her as well. There was give, she gives, he gives. It almost makes more sense then if she were to stay with Howl and the kid and the flame and the, oh god, it is very strange. I guess maybe that is the idea, like, humans are strange, okay? We have better options, but we choose to stay in this toxic relationship. Howl's Moving Castle, the Ghibli film about toxic relationship. It also includes a lot of granny core. So yes, this is I still think that this is a good film, okay? I still think that this is a very good film, but the ending is a bit rough, okay? The ending is a bit rough, it's a bit undercooked. Not as creative as the other two on the trio trifecta, but that is about it, okay? I hope you enjoyed this video. It's very long-winded. Like and subscribe and do all of that, and I will see you in the next one. And I believe the next film is going to be Ponyo. Ponyo is one of my favorite Ghibli films, okay? I don't want to hear shit about, oh, the plot is shallow and is actually quite boring. No. And you know what? Maybe on my rewatch, I would agree that it is not very good, but we will talk about that in the next video, okay? It'll be Ponyo, and then it'll be Arrietty, and then it'll be Apple Poppy Hill. And then it'll be the ones I've not seen. Alright, we're not doing Earthsea. Like and subscribe to all that, and I'll see you in the next video, okay? Good.